Hello guys, it's time for FPL, back with another video, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why you should probably wildcard in Game Week 8. Now, before we go on to that, um, this is my score. I got 76 points, pretty good game week all round, really happy with it. But anyway, so many people are wildcarding Game Week 7, especially sort of new players to the game, that, just want to have a bit of fun, and experiment with the wild card. But at the moment, it looks the way that you want to be wildcard in Game Week 8, not Game Week 7. And this is what this video is going to be all about. Now, the main reason is this. Liverpool versus Man City. Now, arguably two of the best teams in the league. Obviously, Chelsea in that category as well. But I mean, Man City versus Liverpool, always going to be a very tough fixture. Could be goalless, could be a goal thriller. You never really know. So, and quite a lot of managers are wanting to get two Man City players into their team. So, I mean, if you want to get two Man City players in your team, you do not want to do it this week when they're facing Liverpool. Also, some Man City midfielders as well that you want. Perhaps Grealish, maybe even Bernardo Silva's a pick that I've been mentioning quite a bit. Only 6.9 million. But at the moment, this that's the main reason. Now, there are quite a few other reasons as well that I will come on to right now. So, quite a few players that influence this decision. Now, the Ronaldo-Lukaku debate is something that I think many managers just need to sort of use their natural instinct for. Now, obviously, Ronaldo facing Everton, Lukaku facing Southampton. Obviously, if you were to wildcard this week, you basically have a free choice between the two. Now, Ronaldo, he hasn't been on the best form. I reckon Lukaku at the moment is on better form, also playing for a better team, and arguably against a better team, Southampton. So, if you're wildcarding, definitely recommend getting in Lukaku, especially for the fixtures coming up. But, if you wildcard this week, keeping Ronaldo could be a very big mistake. So some other players that I want to think about, and this is quite mainly to do with strikers. So there are three strikers that I want to talk about, all that you'd want to be considering when you're wildcarding. So first of all is Antonio. Now, quite a lot of managers just see him as a sort of non-negotiable player. I mean, look at his recent scores, look at his recent form. He's been on really good form. Obviously, the 2.3 form in the top left doesn't really reflect his performances because that's only for the last 3 games, I believe. But fixture-wise, I mean, he's against West Ham versus Brentford in Game Week 7. And if you wildcard him, you'd arguably want to get him out. I mean, his next, 4 fixtures are not the best. Six fixtures, you wouldn't really want to have him in. So that's one of the players. And his 2 replacements, well, to be honest, there's 4 replacements. Obviously, Bamford, Jimenez, Tony, and Ings are the one that automatically springs to mind. Maybe even St. Maximin as well. I personally also have St. Maximin. I think he's a really good pick. Anyway, so going on to some other reasons why we haven't, why I definitely not recommend wildcarding. So the other 2 forwards are Tony and Ings. So Tony, we all know what a fantastic player he is, and if you're wildcarding Game Week 7, he is against West Ham. You definitely want to bring him in. Jesus, I can't speak anymore. But Game Week 8, if you were to bring him in, he'd only have one back fixture. You'd probably bench him. Only 6.3 million. You can afford to bench him. One in every 5 game weeks, I'd say. But his fixtures after that are absolutely golden. Like, look at that. From Game Week 9 all the way to Game Week 16. Game Week 19, perhaps, if you want. All of those fixtures are absolutely golden. And you definitely want to keep him in for all of them. Maybe take him out for the Man U game if you're feeling a bit, differential like. But Tony is another one. And then also Danny Ings. Now, Danny Ings, obviously fantastic player, fantastic goal scorer, really clinical. Fixture-wise, he's got Spurs next. If you're to wildcard Game Week 8, definitely recommend bringing him in. Obviously against Arsenal Game Week 9, definitely play him. Against West Ham Game Week 10, still would highly recommend playing him as well. But against Spurs, Spurs have a half-decent defence. By all means, he could get a goal or two, but that game just doesn't really look the most favourable. So Danny Ings, obviously, if you're wildcarding Game Week 8, definitely bring him in. Game Week 7, still probably bring him in, but that's sort of like a little bit of a reason why not to. Now, there's a few midfielders I'd also like to highlight. Now, with these midfielders, actually, I forgot to talk about one forward, and that is Bamford. Now, Bamford obviously got the ankle injury. No, it's not really been confirmed yet. how long he's going to be back. Now, obviously, this advice of wildcarding Game Week 8 can definitely drastically change. I mean, Bamford's injury is sort of, it's a bit questionable. No one really knows, and if he's back for next week or maybe the week after, you definitely want him have it. You definitely want to have him in your team, and if you're wildcarding and take him out, that can be a very big mistake, especially with those fixtures. Like, look at that, guys. That fixture one is brilliant, so you definitely want to keep him in for them. So that's another really, really big reason. Another one is Rafinha. Now this is sort of like a half reason if you want. Obviously he's got a hip injury, 75% chance of playing. It was 50, went up to 75%, I believe recently. I haven't really been following it, but he looks fine. But obviously you don't want to be risking taking him out of your team or keeping him in if he's injured. And you may not find out until the deadline, but the Bamford and Rafinha issues are definitely something that you would want to be keeping an eye on. And by all means, if they're both confirmed before the deadline, it would make wildcarding a much more suitable option. Now, the last player I would like to talk about is... Actually, I'll say the last. I'll quickly go on one thing after this. But Ismaila Sarr. Now, Sarr is against Leeds. He's on fantastic form. But he's against Leeds next, and obviously the fixtures after are pretty dreadful. So if you are wildcarding this week, I'd highly recommend not having Sarr in. But against Leeds, you obviously want him in. And, that's arguably... Leeds is one of the best teams you want any attackers to play against. Defenders, really opposite question, though, because obviously Leeds have a really good attack, really bad defence. But Leeds attackers or midfielders... players playing against Leeds, attackers or midfielders, you definitely want to have. So, wildcarding this week, having Ismaila Sarr out is really not a valid option, to be honest. I mean, definitely see him getting in a return. So yeah, Ismaila Sarr, definitely a really good pick for this week, and another reason not to wildcard. Now, the last reason sort of links back to what I was saying at the start with Liverpool, Man City. So, Liverpool players, you always want to have Trent Alexander-Arnold. Oh, I forgot you can't do that. Alexander-Arnold, you want to have him in your team. Now, some people, if they're wildcarding, are taking him out for some strange reason. I mean, he's got Man City next, and his fixtures after that are pretty good. I mean, Trent Alexander-Arnold, best defender in FPL this season, pretty much confirmed. I mean, he's got Watford, Man United, which are really not a team to fear. Even if he doesn't get a clean sheet against Man United, he could definitely get a return. Obviously, Man United defense is not good. Then Brighton, then West Ham, then Arsenal. Then they're really not that bad fixtures. So Trent Alexander-Arnold is one. And then the two Man City defenders that are pretty much the only two that I'd be considering at the moment is Cancelo and Diaz. Now, Cancelo, 6.1 million. Diaz, 6 million, I believe. Or has he gone up? He's gone up as well, so he's gone up 6.1 million. But Cancelo and Diaz, definitely two players that you'd want to have in your team. And if you're wildcarding against Liverpool, you'd want to bring them both in. And against Liverpool, you wouldn't really want to do that. So if you wildcard Game Week 8, you could definitely avoid having those players in, especially if you perhaps taking out Trent earlier on in the season or just simply doesn't have him. You wouldn't want to be buying them in for this week. And if you do wildcard this week, it's simple. You'd want all three of those players and also a Chelsea player. So, I mean, or at least two, or at least one of the Man City defenders. But anyway, those are the reasons why to wildcard Game Week 8. So, I mean, quite a lot of people just think it's because of the Liverpool Man City one, and that is the probably main reason. But quite a lot of players that are not involved with Liverpool and Man City really do base off this wildcard this week. So, hope you enjoyed the video. It's been a pretty lengthy one. Definitely not as lengthy as my other one, talking about my wildcard draft that I posted earlier. But definitely check that one out as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please drop a like and subscribe. And also comment down below how your Game Week 16 went. If you're wildcarding, anything you want to say, obviously look at my recent videos, also comment on them. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.